And now that brings us to the main social application of ethics, which is politics. It's simply the application of ethics to social questions. And here I would put down capitalism as a one-word summary. Laissez-faire capitalism. In other words, the complete separation of state and economics, just as we have the separation now of state and church. So I do not mean by capitalism the mixed economy, which is basically what we have today, which is some fascism and some socialism and some capitalism and a few other things all tossed into a pot, a melange of conflicting ideas. I mean by capitalism pure laissez-faire capitalism, where the foundation of the system is individual rights. But I hasten to say that by individual rights, I mean it as the founding fathers of this country meant it. I do not talk about the rights of an embryo, only of human beings once they're born. And I do not offer them the right to a trip to Florida, a guaranteed job, guaranteed hospital bed, daycare, night care, etc., etc., etc. They have only got the right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and property. The property they can earn by their own effort. And we say that the function of government should be to protect these rights and only these rights. How can you violate these rights? What does the government have to protect us from? Basically, there's only one way to someone to take away your life, your liberty, your property, and that's to initiate physical force against you. Steal your property, tie you up, stab you in the heart, etc. There's an indirect form of force, which is fraud, where I rook you out of your property by misrepresentation, so you're still doing it against your will. The government, for an objectivist society, is strictly an agency to bar the use of physical force, direct or indirect, and thereby to leave each individual secure in the knowledge that what he achieves by his own effort is his. He is completely, his rights are inalienable within his own sphere. No one and no group can interfere. By the same token, the government offers him nothing. It doesn't offer him welfare or special favors of any kind. It's not in favor of any individual or group. It doesn't offer special, quote, protection to TV watchers or stock traders or big businessmen or small businessmen or labor or farmers or subsidies for college students, etc., etc., etc. Laissez-faire means hands off, leave us alone. No welfare state, no Social Security, no Medicare. What would there be then under capitalism? Three main agencies of the government. The police, to protect the citizens from domestic criminals. The military, to protect the citizens from foreign aggressors. And the court system, so that citizens would be able to resolve disputes in a civilized, rational fashion without the need to have recourse to war in the streets, which would be back to the rule of force. Now, we hold that only this, quote, extreme, in other words, consistent, an approach to government can or ever has or ever will work. If you try to mix this approach with some elements of government control, as we have today, and of course the government controls have been growing and growing, we hold that the end result of this mixed economy is got to be dictatorship. Not in the sense that it's inevitable, but it is inevitable if the country doesn't change its direction. A mixed economy tells you the government can step in on behalf of some group and give them a favor, of course, which makes all the other groups hurt because that favor had to come from them, since the government produces nothing. It can just hurt one group in order to help another. So that group clamors for some more controls, handouts, or whatever, and then another group does. This has been the history of the United States for well over 100 years. And if you look at the whole history, you'll see that every set of controls has necessitated further controls and further controls. And today, our political movements don't even question that we need more and more controls. They simply divide over which controls should come next. The liberals, for instance, tell us we need more and more economic controls, but let's not have spiritual or moral controls. And the conservatives say, no, we need economic freedom, but we need more controls over thought. We have to legislate against obscenity. We have to legislate against abortion. We have to mandate prayer in the schools. We have to teach creation as on a par with the theory of evolution. So the conservatives are actually worse from the point of view of injecting the government into intellectual, ideological matters and trying to mandate a viewpoint down the throats of helpless young students. The point being that although these two groups fight vociferously, they are both for the same end result: bigger government, more controls, no matter what their rhetoric is.